Mr. Trey Faircloth coming at you live today with another episode of Team Talks. Let me pull up the chat really quick just in case you guys post any comments, questions, and concerns. I can catch it. But yeah, Trey, bro, how's it going, bro?
Just another Monday, bro.
Another Monday it is. Let's see, pop up chat. Let me just have that to the sidebar just in case there are any questions, comments, or concerns. We can see and talk about it. All right. So I'm conflicted. We had yet again another regional, Webcam regional, go by this past weekend. But this week's the big week, man. This week is Gen Con. It's been a while since we had an in real life best of three event where a lot of major players are just gonna attend. Like right now, I kind of feel like at a loss because I kind of want to play, but I don't want to look back because I already volunteered to judge and they picked me to judge. So I'm like in a conundrum. So actually, I have a deck now. Drew House probably gonna play it. He's probably gonna do really well with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he even wins with it. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm conflicted. I really, really, really want to play, but I guess it is what it is. But other than that, man, Gohan Icarus, your deck won again, bro. It won out of I
I told
think
you it's the best deck.
100 and something players. Talk about it, bro.
It's,
How do you feel? You
it's best.
honestly feel Gohan Icarus is the play of this format?
Yes.
How do you? I know it has. You were talking on the team chat. I caught a glimpse of it. You said Gohan Icarus has a very good Soul Striker match. How do you
Oh yeah.
feel about SS4?
It's similar. You just have to pressure a little harder because they're gonna get to their plays faster, and they don't really rely on awakening via unison.
Mm,
So they don't mind dragging the game out. Soul Striker doesn't want to go to turn 5 where they
yeah.
finally get to play their unison.
Mm.
I play against the same Soul Striker player at locals. Shout out to EJ. And I feel like I'm bullying him most of the games I play him.
I can imagine that's just miserable as a Soul Striker player. But do you think you still crush SS4 with Gohan Icarus, or you think it'll actually like the odds I guess even out?
Really a crush, and it also depends on who you're playing against.
Mm,
I don't think that Blue has enough tools to kill you. Like the decks you actually lose to with Gohan are not a deck anymore.
mm,
So um, Dark Broly is not non-existent, and that was like his worst matchup. So
yeah,
um,
that was crush. You would have your little higher dragon. It wasn't safe in play. It wasn't safe in a drop. That thing was warped.
yeah, that was the bad part. It was
Yeah,
always they were always getting rid of Little Dragon, and
yeah,
then like 30Ks. The best
yeah.
thing
Ease
about
your hand apart.
the Icarus is like the free dragon is way more valuable than it just seems on paper.
Mm,
Like you're bringing it back after you free combo for 20, so you swing at 20 your opponent's leader. If they're at 4 life, they gotta like pitch 2 cards to survive that damage. So they just lost 2 cards in their hand. Then you bring it back, and it just feels so disrespectful because you just brought back and got 2 cards, 1 card in your hand, 1 card on your board, and your opponent's turn. But they swing at you for 15, and they don't combo because they don't want to get rid of a card out of their hand. You just combo the dragon and draw another card. So and he just comes right on back.
yeah,
He
that
does the
card
same thing
advantage
over
is
and over.
fat, bro. That card advantage is really, really fat. What's
And I
up?
average like on a good like hand, you're never below 12 cards in the hand in most cases.
Yeah, it was like the same thing. Even in the past formats, it was just. I mean, Mecha Frieza was just the play to go to. They both have fat hands. But what's up, Coop man? What's up, Robbie Rietze? It's been a while since we've seen you, bro. What's up, Robbie? What you been up to, man?
Just getting my butt kicked in events. It's been rough.
You played this last webcam?
I did. I lost to Marcel for the lose top 16,
What'd
and
you
then I
play?
beat
You,
some.
you played launch?
Uh, I just tried out launch. I didn't want to. My Gen Con deck wasn't ready yet,
Mm,
and so like I saw that email and it was like you have to submit by 10 a.m. and I'm like, man, I may not wake up by 10 a.m. All right, what do I have built? All right, I got launch built. Let's give it a shot. And it was the most boring event I've ever played in. I played 3 cell surges,
mm,
and I had no sideboard for it, and I always got a slow hand. Like versus
yeah.
everybody else, I had like turn 2 aggro, and I had like cooler ×2 on the board, turn 2, and then like no issues. But then against Cell Surge, like all 3 games, I was like turn 1 pass, turn 2 pass,
Jesus.
turn 3 pass.
Well, they
And
don't
they're
attack
like,
you. They don't attack you like this. So.
Exactly.
well, that doesn't matter for the having the early game. Like I play all that crap on my own turn. Like you just combo like normal. I just didn't have any coolers to play. Like it just was boring. But yeah, you're right. They don't do anything. It's just now I know it's something to. If you're gonna play launch, you gotta have sideboard for it main basically.
Yeah, unfortunately, these webcam events are best of one, which is the
Mm-hmm.
issue I have with them. Like, I love them. Like I said, I don't really doubt webcam because honestly, the same thing that goes on a webcam could be the same thing that goes on in real life. Besides the disconnections, but my biggest issue with webcams are if you're already playing for an hour, play best of three. Add an extra 10 minutes and just play the best of three event. In my opinion, that's all I have to say on that one.
Yeah, like I have to agree
Mm,
that that is my biggest complaint
yeah,
about it is
mm,
um
the play
just like it felt so long.
exactly.
Honestly,
You
like
might as well
I
play
tried
best
to be
of
in a
three for
good
that long.
mood, but I was so salty because I was just like one of my opponents, the one that I beat, I was
Mm,
trying not to be mean to him, but like one of his turns took like 7 minutes, and I kept being like, "Hey, I need you to advance the play."
yeah.
Like I got 3 cards in hand. He's like, "Well,
That's
I'm
way
just trying
too
to
long,
sequence
bro.
it."
Nah, it's way too long, B.
Well, and I'm like, I get that you're going to discard my whole hand, and like this is fun for you, but I am bored out of my motherfucking mind right
Yeah.
now. Like this. Like I literally was like, I started to look up flesh and blood cards during the game. I'm like, all right, what can I look like? Where's the? Oh, are we coming back yet? Like, let me know when we're. Oh, okay,
That's
we're
what
gonna
I'm
play
saying.
again. And but yeah, besides that, I'm ready for Gen Con, best of 3. It'll be fun. And then I think I'm actually taking a break. I won't be around for October. I'm just gonna play in Flesh and Blood events.
What was that? That $1 million prize pool?
Yeah, man.
That's insane.
I've been buying up the boxes. Whenever a store like if they have store credit,
Mm,
and they'll do like some places only be like $60 a box.
mm.
It's the weirdest game ever because you're guaranteed a legendary in every case, and the
Like a secret rare?
legendary pays. Yeah, it's basically like a secret rare, but it's a lot better, and you have to have it. So it's not like our game where you can be like, oh, I just run Heroes Lineage. You need multiple legendaries, and it's all the equipment pretty much, as far as I know. I don't know if there's legendaries and other stuff yet. I'm still pretty new to it, but so like it'll cost you 200, maybe 220 for 4 boxes, and then you sell one of the cards alone for like $200. So which
That's
you're
not bad.
guaranteed to get.
Yeah,
So
that's not bad.
yeah, you just keep plussing, and that's what makes games fun for me is
I
if
don't
I
know
can
where you're
play for
getting those
free.
boxes for that price, but let me know so I can buy some.
That's not bad at all, B.
Because my locals be charging over $100 a box for this.
Yeah,
That's for
that's how.
first edition. That's for first edition. You can go on TCG. I was just looking them up. They're like $70 on TCG for all the sets. Or Channel Fireball, I think, has them for like 65 or 69. Like they're not bad for unlimited. But yeah, I mean it's still $70 for a box. Like it's not
Mm,
free yet.
makes sense.
But it's fun. Just good to play cards, and they're having events again. Not to bash Dragon Ball. I appreciate online events, but
Yeah, in real life events is where it's at. That's why the ultimate hype is behind Gen Con. I'm gonna ask both of you guys a question. I want you guys to pick the top 3 decks that you not anticipate to see because that's easy because like we all know what we're gonna see. But if you were to pick 3 decks that you can see winning, I want you to name those. But before you guys think about that, I want to ask Robbie a question. What are your thoughts on
uh-oh.
launch for this format? That
I think
that
it's cute.
that's a deck
Like
that a
I
lot
think
of people are giving hype. I just want to hear the mastermind behind it. So I know you and Frisco have been playing that bad girl for the longest. So I want to hear like your brains behind launch right now.
it's hard because I can't separate where's like my ego from the deck.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So like I think I'm a good player with
mm,
launch, and so that's the hard part. For all I know, I'm a terrible launch player.
mm.
But I got I think 4 top 4 regionals with her,
Yeah,
and 2 top 8s with her. We'll say, but no regional wins. So Frisco's got that on me for that. I never won with her,
yeah. Frisco had
but
that launch burn with the Invoker package. That's the same.
yeah, which I hated. I
Yeah.
hated that deck. That for me, I played it like they were like try this out, and I played it in like 2 locals, and I never resolved the 3-drop Goku. Like, it was never worth it to me. I was like, I can just kill you faster. Like, I'm an aggro player. I ain't taking my time. Launch would be in a great spot if they wouldn't have screwed over the Piccolo, the new ruler.
Yep. Makes sense.
So that it's weird. I don't know. Like, I want it to be good. I've tried every variant. I think right now, if you went back to I think I got top 4 at Australia and America in the same weekend with my Kaioken build. I think that would actually be really good this format because Kaioken is an auto win versus black.
That's one of my favorite cards, bro. I love that card.
Kaioken?
Yeah. Well, I
yeah.
feel like violating with that.
Let me see your hand.
And she's the only one who can do it.
Gates and just kill you from 8 to 0. It'll be like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, and launch can stay at 8 life. Yeah. Like, you don't have to have a big hand if you know you're going into Kaioken. Like, you can just be like, and people are playing Janemba. And so, you know, you're going to mill me too? Thank you. I cannot wait to play this battle card that, to my knowledge, they can't interact with. I don't know if there's a card that they can.
I don't think
Everyone's lineage, chopping the trickster.
No, but you look at their hand. You look at their hand first. That's the thing. With Kel,
they can do chopping the trickster, and they can Zamasu and tap it. Like, it can get tapped. Yeah. But, like, if you have any board presence, you can just be like, take 4 life, discard all your good cards, pass the turn, wait till next turn to kill you. Like, it's I think you could do something with that, but I think you have to go red-green, and red-green is the worst variant of launch for defense.
Yeah, and no very super combos. You don't think blue has a chance in that deck for this format?
I think it would if they didn't make Bojack Buster or whatever the card's called. What's it called? The blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Galactic
Buster.
I
think, Galactic Buster makes the red-blue variant almost unplayable. I don't want to leak what card I'm playing at Gen Con because if I give it away, the tech, it greatly reduces my deck. But there is a way
for blue leaders only, right? It's only for blue leaders and Bojack, right?
Yes, but the problem is launch just isn't the best blue leader, like with access to blue. So like I know some people are trying to do blue, yellow, red, and it's cute, but like just be the higher. I don't like the Icarus deck. Like, it's not my play style. Like, I like to go fast. That's not fast to me.
Trey would disagree. Trey would say that deck is fast.
I want to kill you for sure on 3. I want to guarantee.
You can kill them on 3 or 4, but the thing is, I don't need to. I like to tap 3 on my 4th turn and say, you can't kill me, bro. Power of a Super Saiyan, Bojack, and I got beams. I can play apes on your turn. You ain't never killing me on 4 turn. If I get the 4 energy, no, you ain't killing me. Especially
and that's the cool part.
Entire board. I kill your entire board with the Trunks Unison and just pass.
Yeah, no, it's that's what I'm saying is that, like, there's so many answers out there that the parts that make launch good, she can't do it as well as everyone else. So it's just like her best case scenario is like Zeno, or not Zeno. What's the untap? Beerus, super combo. Play a cooler during your opponent's turn, and you've got a 5-drop in play. That used to be so good if you were red-blue. Like, you could win games being like, man, I got a 20k double strike, and it cost me no negative. And now people are like, that's it? Like, sure, even if you combo to a 30k, blue's like, all right, I'll use Bojack Buster, I'll Bean, I'll do this, I'll Zeno, and then I'll play this ape next turn who's got dual attack, so he's a super ape, and then I'm going to bottom deck your cooler, and launch does not do well against decks that go wide. So like the dragon deck, you go wide with a lot of attacks, your Unison attacks a bunch, you play the 6-drop Overwhelm. Both of those cards in 1 turn, launch can go from 8 to 0 really fast. I'd say her best matchup is green, and she has no interaction pretty much for King Cold. Like the 3-drop Frieza.
That is not good.
like the 3-drop Frieza is almost an auto loss, especially if your opponent's good. And they're like, pass turn. You just take a life. And then on their turn 3, finally awaken and not like take the life, like to just make the game go later. And then turn 3 drop the 5-drop if they want to, and then pass turn, and then go for the auto win on turn 4 where they awaken and drop both of their freezes. So they play 3 freezes on their side of the board. They've got 3 triple attacks basically for the amount of damage. Like you just like Legends kept doing it to me when we were playing, and I was like, "Oh, I can beat you this game," and I was like,
Nah.
"I can't damage you at all. Like all of your cards stop me. Like I just can't beat you." And it was unpleasant. But that was a long ass answer for yeah, it's bad. No.
All right, so let's get into our top 3 picks as potential winners, because as we all know, you can pick like you can see a deck that can possibly win an event, but it may not be a deck that's highly represented, right? Like for instance, like if we're talking about the set 11, set 12, we can say like, okay, cool, you can see Noker winning like one of the Pro Play Tours, but it's not something everyone plays. So not once again, not something that you see, because we can everyone can say right now there's going to be a plethora of Gogeta Zeno down there. But Gogeta Zeno might not be your pick to win. So with that being said, take us off. I guess we'll start with Trey this time. Start us off, Trey. The top 3 decks that you can see winning Gen Con. Best of 3 in real life event. We're not doing Webcam right now. The best of 3 in real life event.
So I feel like Soul Striker is at a super disadvantage just due to the fact that Icarus has been really revealed at this point. So I feel like people are really going to steer away from playing Soul Striker.
As well as SS4
and,
too. SS4 kills that deck too, yeah.
And SS4 beats the deck as well. So it's really going to be a skill-based format regardless. And if the most prepared player in the room should win. As long as they're taking in consideration the meta. Based on what I see for the meta, Icarus is if you're smart, you'll play Icarus. I'm being real. Like if you can really play that deck and you know ins and out, you should play that deck. I think it has the outs to Gogeta Zeno. Gogeta Zeno, if you just charge a yellow against them turn 1 or just charge dual color or whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna awaken you on your first turn and you just survive. And the next couple turns you're gonna clear their board and power of Super Saiyan them. They can't do enough to kill you other than knocking you, forcing you to awaken on turn 2. That's cool. But after that, they can't really do much. The deck's still cool. You still have to play around their Kai Negate. That's like the only thing that really gives the deck a trouble. But I feel like in reality, the Gogeta Zeno deck is good, but I don't think it's going to win. Icarus should win, in theory, just based off the matchup spreads that are being played. People want to play blue, and Icarus kills blue. And then King Cold is really good, so you have to worry about that deck as well. But yellow doesn't really care too much about King Cold, especially Annihilator after siding, if that's what you expect people to play. So I think King Cold could win it all, depending on matchups, just due to the fact that it's just good. It has that pressure double striker from the field card. I think it's dumb. It's like one of the easiest ways to just shotgun your leader and not have to worry about anything. So in reality, something random's gonna win, or it's gonna be King Cold or Icarus, like completely random.
All right, Robbie, let's hear from you. Real quick before Robbie goes, is Black Sin worth playing or not strong? It's not even worth mentioning. Chris said
Crush that man. Crush that man's dream.
I'm just being. Like I said, guys, don't get offended. I keep it real. Like I tell you exactly how I feel it is, and I don't think Sync is worth mentioning. I will tell you, Sin has Oceanus. That's a great card, but guess what? It's not. Once again, I think what's one of the problems Bad Eye does. It's not leader locked to your deck. So they're just gonna take your best card and just splash it, and wherever we could splash it to, like just make an impact, like in Blue Baby, something like that. So, Chris says Robbie, he's laughing that Cell got you mad, Robbie, and then yeah, all right. So Robbie, what do you think will be the top contenders?
Man, I can't even fake it. All my opponents knew I was salty. I was just like, The problem was it wasn't having fun. You know what I mean? For the cell matches,
No
like
one's having fun except for the actual player who's doing the handed shot. Like
exactly.
that's the
Like,
only player having fun. That's like it's not made. It's literally solitaire, and you're just stuck watching him play solitaire until
and I don't mind it if they're. It really is my thing. Is I'm already like an aggressive player. Like I like to. Let's keep it going. Like I could play a set in 15 minutes, no problem. Like let's speed chess this. So when you're sitting there and you're just discarding my hands and you're thinking about it, I'm just more like inside my mind, I'm just like dying a little bit each moment.
I think
But
the
yeah,
worst
man, I
part
was
about it
salty.
too. It's like it's not even a 30-minute stretch. Like you have to sit there. What is it? 50 minutes for
Yeah, it
missing?
was 50, and
That's
we
so
used
nag.
up 39
That's
minutes.
what I'm saying.
I killed him.
That's so
I
nag, dude.
killed him
Yeah.
because he tried to go for it and he didn't have enough, and I killed him,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt good. I learned it in the last round. Like revenge. No. But yeah, okay. So I really honestly expect the decks to win are going to be entirely mid range, are going to win the format because of Gogeta Zeno. And I think that Gogeta Zeno is going to warp the entire format for us because decks like SS4, although it seems like it's a stall deck, it's a mid-range deck. You just have extra energy, right? You don't rely on the set, trying to play the big drop. You just have more cards in your opponent. You play the 5 drop. The 5 drop, Gogeta Zeno can't beat. Like once you swing leader, they power burst, you respawn with that 5 drop, it's probably over, like you have so many advantages. And I feel like blue in general was countered by the first version of Gogeta, which kind of created this weird kind of triangle of what we had in the last regional, and then it followed up with the green, right? Because we had a bunch of people running the Gogeta stuff, and it was all like super aggro. And then, but blue did well because it was all mid range, so people already had the answer for it. And then we had too many blue tops, so then everyone was like, "All right, I'll run green this week." I think Trey's right. I think it's going to be King Cold that probably wins the event,
King
or just
Cold.
somebody playing, yeah, just playing aggro in general, something that can go quickly. Only because I think there's the thing we're missing about this is a best of 3 event with no top cut.
Yeah.
So you want to play your discard deck and take 15 minutes on your game 1 just to get through turn 3? Sure. You might be undefeated and only draw your last 2 rounds, but you're not going to be first because you took too long. Like, it's still going to be 7 rounds, but now we're going to have draws. And
And
the
then people
draw,
have
you're out of
Dabura.
first. What was that?
Everybody's gonna be siding Dabura, so
Yeah, supposedly Danny was saying in his
The
comments
Boars
that
doesn't
the people.
doesn't really hurt. I play him. Trust me, that's my best of 1 deck. The Boars, if you main answers in your self surge, which you should be maining answers, the Boars don't hurt as much as people think it hurts. Like
oh, Black Man saying
no, it's not just that. I'm not gonna say it, but like I mean that is 1 card. That
Yeah,
is 1 card. I'm not gonna lie. That is 100% 1 card. You should be maining at least 1 to 2 but there's other cards as well that you should prepare. And the Boars is not as hey, I'm not gonna lose because I use 1, 2, 3. Trust me, it's not that simple for you to not lose. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, bro. The
I'm
Cell
actually
Surge deck is
wondering if
lit. The Cell Surge deck is stupid, stupid
Sin.
lit, dude.
I
say
think
is
Sin
that
Shenron is going to be the deck that wins the whole thing. Yellow
That's a
old
solid
school
pick.
Sin
That's a
Shenron.
solid pick. I like it. That is a solid pick right there,
Actually,
boy.
if there was gambling for this game and we could get odds like 3 to 1 or something,
Mm,
I'd probably take $1,000 bet on that.
mm.
Because think about all the decks you mentioned. Icarus, hey, you can play apes during your turn. That's fine. I got like a bunch of giant cards
Full
that
advantages.
Icarus has a problem with late game.
Mm,
And then more importantly, if you do anything aggressive, like play an ape early game, I can pop it whenever I want. Those kind of cards are amazing. But Janimba, we saw it's making a recurrence, and Sin Shenron doesn't have to draw when it attacks on the front side. Like it can choose to fail to find.
mm.
So you can force your opponent to awaken, let them mill all your dragons for you, and be like, yeah, turn 6. Play 6 dragons. Oh, okay.
Insane.
I can't kill you in this one turn. I'll go to next turn. I've drawn 0 cards this game. Like, And Gogeta Zeno, I don't know how that deck can possibly kill, you know, the big stuff. You know what I mean? Unless it goes first and has this amazing open. It seems like just turn one, they'll be like Nimbus, slow you down. But
the one thing I will say is that Giancarlo, in theory, if he plays correctly, should win this event.
who? Oh,
Giancarlo.
Oh,
That's just because our new build is nuts. It is so much better than the other build.
Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
And I'm putting my marbles in the bag, and because if I was there, I would call myself.
So there's a consensus between both of you that King Cole is a really strong pick to win the event.
Yeah, King Cole's really good, bro.
Solid.
It's just so consistent. It's just annoyingly consistent. Like Robbie was saying in the chat earlier, it always sees a super combo as a secret rare. It always sees everything it needs.
Which sorry, I got a message about the Gen Con Ask if I had cards. What deck? Or just still talking about Icarus?
No, we're
King
talking
Cole.
about King Cole. Yeah, how both of you guys came to a solid consensus. Pretty much, that is a very strong pick to win an event, as well as is Icarus.
And you can afford to switch to it at this point. Like, I feel like that's actually the hardest part about Dragon Ball is, I would argue, unless people are borrowing cards, and I know that's a thing, right? Like, we can borrow all weekend. It's pretty hard. Like, I made Gohank's, the Gotenks deck, for the tournament, and I borrowed a bunch of cards to do it, and I hated it. Had I built that deck, I would have been out like $800 or some crap. You know, like I had to buy all the dormants, all the freezes, the cells, Kameas. By the end of it, like I would have been forced to play that at Gen Con. Just because at that point, what am I going to do? Drop another 1,000 to switch over to Gohan?
Yeah, exactly. You're already committed. That's insane. But in theory, if you're a
Buy
Mecha Frieza
Zamasus
player,
at
don't
60
you already
bucks.
have a Gohan Icarus deck? Because all those cards just shift over, doesn't it, to the Gohan deck?
Yeah. I mean, look at how expensive Zamasu is right now. That tells you, yeah, they're selling for 60 pretty easily. So that tells you, like enough people are on blue yellow that you're gonna see a lot of it at the event, and so you have to have main deck options to stop it, or to slow it. You know, like have them not slow you down, I guess is the proper way to phrase it. So, you know, like it'll be just kind of weird too. There'll also just be that luck factor. Like both of my regional wins, the decks I played against were very weak to either red or I just played the mirror. Like on the one when I won the first time with King Vegeta in the slower build, I think 4 out of my 8 rounds I played red. And so as the guy who's been playing red forever, like I knew what their deck was going to do before they knew what their deck was going to do, you know? So I feel like it's going to be that kind of variance where like the guy who wins is going to probably come out on the video and be like, I played King Cold and every single round I played against SS4, you know? Or
you know, it's crazy.
And just be
I honestly think players are actually going to take SS4. Don't get it wrong. That SS4 deck, in my opinion, is not bad, but I think it takes like
which SS4, Vegeta or the black?
No. Excuse me, the black one, the black one. I think it takes like a defined form. Like you saw how like in the past round, like we knew the decks were going to be there. It was going to be Mecha. It was going to be Dark Broly. It was going to be whatever other deck you play. Once the format gets like that, I think the SS4 deck honestly can and will take off. But in a format where it's just a bunch of different decks, I think that is what's going to take. It's not going to make SS4 really playable in this format because that deck is just far from trash. I tell people that all the time. They laugh, but I'm like, that deck is a really solid deck. But once again,
you're talking about the prismatic burst.
Yeah, the prismatic burst deck exactly. Because the thing about that deck, they have to just like condense it to combat the meta. But if the meta is like this, it's hard to build a deck. But if the meta is just like triangle or square, that deck will come in just, I'm telling you, it'll slash decks. If it's a defined meta, SS4 will come and wreck people's lunches, point blank, period. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I think past Gen Con, once people are like, okay, cool, X deck was in top 16 or top 8, X deck was in top 30, all that good stuff, that SS4 will define itself and then come from nowhere. And you'll see, hey, he's topping, he's winning, he's topping, he's winning. That's just how that deck is. I don't think it'll win this weekend. I think people will play it. I don't know why you would play it. I'm not saying that.
I don't think it'll.
But
I put money, not a single top 16 on that deck, just because it's. They screwed it too much with the awakening ability, where you have to have all 4 in play to draw a card.
Yeah. You have to have all 4. You have to. Yeah.
So you just to draw 2 at that point, like the deck needed so much more, and the fact that blue is just an auto loss, like even Gohan.
It's not, Robbie.
Like Gohan,
it's not. That's a common
thing
misconception.
I hate about that deck is right. Give me one reason why you wouldn't want to just play Icarus. Like I draw 20 more cards than you, bro.
Yes.
Like you want.
But it doesn't really trade.
You're never gonna. You don't have true defense when you're playing that type of deck, and your whole deck is full of 10Ks.
Well, they're 5Ks,
bro. It's not.
They're 5Ks.
It's even worse.
Sorry, they're 5Ks. So you can't even really play defense at all, right?
Like, yeah, no. I mean, it's. I agree with you. I think someday Eddie's right. We're gonna see, but I don't think it's gonna be nationals. We're talking like. We're talking like 3-4 more sets. You're gonna see this leader just tank. You're gonna see this leader tank in price. He'll be worth like $1. Someone like Rishi's gonna buy them all up for $1, and then they're gonna print like a bunch of black-red cards that are super powerful, and you're just gonna see this leader just become like tier 1. And Eddie will just come back to this one video and be like, "I told you." SS4 is the best thing ever.
The broken support to make it where it works.
I honestly think it's going to be after Gen Con. You will see, like, for instance, right? We're going to do the Pro Play Tour schedule after Gen Con. I guarantee to you, on those circuits, you're going to see multiple SS. Because I'm telling you right now, that SS4 deck can't compete in this format. But once again, the problem with that deck is the format is too big. It just needs to close down a little bit so SS4 knows exactly what to expect. Because, like, the thing is, once the format closes down and, like, just a glimpse, let's say if it's just Icarus, let's say if it's just King Cole, and let's say if it's just my personal pick, my 2 best decks, the best of 1 top deck, in my opinion, Cell Surge. I don't care if you're maining the board. I don't care what you're doing to try to combat it. A competent player will beat you. Like, yeah, you do the same thing over and over again, and a competent player will get around all those main board answers. And in my opinion, my winner to win the event will be Jiren. That deck, in my opinion, is the best of 3 deck. Juhan and I have been talking about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. I think Juhan is going to take the event. We're going to say that.
You shouldn't. So the auto tech that completely beats the deck 100% of the time, I shouldn't mention that.
Not really. But anyways. Yeah. But
because there's one card that deck can't beat. And it's pretty.
There's more than one card. There's a handful of cards, but the thing is, once again, it's just like the SS4 theory, right? If the format is not defined, so people are not having specific cards in their deck to combat a specific deck, that's when you can see the variance and just take advantage of it essentially, and push that to, I guess, your edge and just take a win and a W. And that's what we're batting on for this upcoming weekend. I ain't gonna lie. I super wish I could only judge one day and play one day, because I would 100% play it too. So it'd give us double the chances of doing it.
I mean, the amount. I mean, once a no-show doesn't show up, like they'll have a spot.
No. We could get in regardless. I'm just talking about, like, I don't know how I don't want to bail because I already volunteered to judge. So I don't want it to look bad. But that was before I found out about this deck, bro. But anyways, yeah.
Another thing we can talk about, because we called it, Eddie, and everybody told us we were wrong in the chat. And time we spoke about this.
Don't do it. Just save us some damn time, man. Come on now.
You talking the Vajeks? There's a lot of.
Called it. I said that it was going to be represented in the regionals due to the fact that people were playing Mel.
Yeah, big facts.
What won the event, by the way? I didn't even pay attention. Who won?
Icarus.
Yeah.
Icarus won?
Gohan Icarus is back up easy, guys. Just point blank period. Like, you swapped the leaders, you swapped your extra cards out, and you're playing more battle cards. Like, you're playing these different tech battle cards, like Kira Dragon that draws cards.
And you draw 2. You draw 2 on your turn, right? So you're effectively like countering, as long as you awaken quickly. You're just countering Cell Surge.
It's not just one turn.
What was that?
Is it? Don't you draw 2 on both players' turns?
So you draw when
as long as they're attacking you.
Yeah.
So the thing that I did notice in the build that did win was he was taking the 1 Annihilator, which was probably a good choice for best of 1.
Yeah. King Cole has zero
So
extra setup. That's the one, bro. Like the extra cards are done for. Be like, you have an extra card in your deck, it's done. So like you're not outing unless you're red. Probably if you have a KO can, but like I don't think you're outing an Annihilator.
and it's like you Bergamo them, like you say, a lot of times on your 2 energy play, right? Or it could be any turn past 2. You can Bergamo them Power Super Saiyan and then play Annihilator afterwards.
That is
so it's kind
of that's pretty good. I mean, I got to admit, Bird, that card feels meta defining.
Annihilator.
Ironically, yeah, because it was played because of Mecha.
Yeah,
and yet Mecha countered it. And, like, there was all this, like, back and forth between that one card. And so we kind of forgot about it because Mecha didn't exist. But think about, like, King Cold. Like, King Cold taps out. You play that card. That's the game, right? Like, it's got barrier, too, right?
The way King Cold described it,
deflect.
All your field spells are 1, right? So they would have to pay 2 for it? A field spell?
Yeah, they'd have to pay 2 for it.
They even have to pay the energy for the free counters.
Oh my!
Yeah,
no,
that's the real problem because King Cold will go to 4 life on their own. And then you probably have an ape in play, like on your turn 3.
Bojack
so you could
play, bro. You got Bojack plus you play the well, I'm not gonna spoil the new build, but we play the other apes on your opponent's turns, and then you slam it after you Bergamo them. It's dumb.
Yeah, it's essentially Mecha. You just swap leaders and you take out extra cards, and you have access to more battle cards. Essentially, is it not, Trey?
And you play better defense. Like, you don't have to worry about
you don't have to worry about your life
cards.
with extra cards. Exactly, like your life and extra cards because you have infinite combo pretty much with.
And you can actually pay the one for Final Flash after you beam. It's dumb.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's the real kick to it, right? Like you're gonna find all your beams pretty quickly on. Like it's 1 turn you can kill someone. So I'd probably say that makes me like Icarus more, especially because like I doubt there'll be a lot of red there. But when I do see people trying to play launch, they're playing the new negates. The ones when you're at 5 or less life to try to like stay alive and never die.
Tokens,
and yeah, that's not going to do anything with launch. Like you're going to be in an awkward spot.
It's not.
And the cool thing about it, like the Zamasu counterplay, right? Especially with the new build, where you actually do have a second blue energy more often, you can use that to turn off topos.
Yeah,
so if your opponent is stupid, and they're like, "I'm gonna tap 2 for a Bupo," you're like, "Zamasu that back to your hand," and just like this, you're dead.
Yeah,
hit the Goku. See you later. Yes, neg.
If there was a better yellow leader. I actually wanted to. It's bad. I'm going to say this ahead of time. It's bad. I'm going to admit it ahead of time. It's bad.
Which deck?
The deck I tried to make for Gen Con that failed miserably was the blue leader Vegeta Draft, who's also considered all the other colors.
It's red, blue, yellow.
So they ruled it where he is a mono blue leader.
Yeah, he is.
Okay?
He's also considered.
He's also considered yellow for apes.
That's correct.
And so he got to play all the cards, right? And I was like, this is going to be such a cool deck. It was literally a pile of crap. Like, I don't think I beat, I couldn't beat Set 1 Frieza with no new cards. Like, I couldn't beat anyone. It was too much, like, trying to do cute crap.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
it was like a multicolored deck. But
it was just a blue-yellow deck. Like, you got to play cooler.
Everything, yeah. You have whatever you want to put in your deck, that's the universal leader. That's literally like launch. Like you don't care about what color your stuff is because
we're this close though.
Yeah,
that leader. We're probably if they come out with one more Bojack card that is combo like that's very powerful. I think that leader might become playable, which would be awesome.
Makes sense.
We technically can't make it playable. It's just it doesn't draw more cards than Icarus. Icarus just draws so many cards. It's dumb. 15 cards in my hand. I literally look at my opponent and I do like this. It's stupid. I literally just take my hand and slide it across my mat.
Until you play Cell Surge and it's like, how many cards in hand?
I'll just discard my little vanillas and start bringing them back.
That's not going to be that simple, Trey, bro. Cell Surge is...
Also, I always see Kai. I'm going to get rid of that Unison. That Unison is not sticking. And I will also back to their hand.
Oh,
it's not sticky.
All right, let's hit these last comments also so we can end this bad boy. It says, how good do you... Hold on. How good do you have to be to take Android 16 to a top? So Android 16 is a combination, in my opinion, of hand control and aggro, like kind of aggro mixed together because of that dual attack Android. I think it's like 25 or 30K. It's a blocker, I believe, too. So he said top 32. I mean, if you're decent with the deck, you can top 32. If you're talking like a top 8, top 16 to Gen Con, I don't think it's possible. Like against all the players that I know are going to Gen Con, I don't think you'll out someone like that. I do think the deck is a solid deck. I just don't think it's best of one, maybe. I can see on the top 8, top 16, but for a best of 3, it's really hard to think about it because especially against if you see a plethora of Gogeta Zeno, a lot of Gogeta Zenos are playing the Kai Negates, which I personally think is wrong. I think you should be playing Petrification because Petrification just literally takes off all the cards that can stop you. Like once you have that in your arsenal, along with your Gogeta that just warps whatever's on board, it's gonna be alright. There's nothing that's gonna be able to stop. Like you're not gonna get caught off guard for anything. If you don't need it, it's easy energy in that deck itself because the Kai Negate. Okay, you stop an attack and you work something. I mean,
I bet you a good player could probably run Bug or whatever the equivalent would be. I don't even know how to do it for this game, but blue, yellow, green with the Zamasu package, Bojack Busters, Ramp, all of it. What power level is Bojack, the 8-drop? Is he a 30K?
I think he's a 30K, isn't he?
Because if he's a 25K, the deck could work. If he's a 30K, the deck sucks.
I have no idea. Why is that?
Oh, you're talking about you're trying to ramp.
Yeah, I'd want to ramp.
16? Yeah, Android 16.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that like I feel like what Trey's saying, although is a little bit too much of the same thing for like he really likes Icarus, but like there's so many better leaders out there that like you're trying so much harder. Like if you want to be 16, why wouldn't you just be Blue Vegeta the ramp or Soul Striker? Like what advantage is there to being 16 in comparison to those two leaders? You know,
16 can kind of control your hand. That's the element that those other leaders don't have. Because I played against 16. It's a real deck. I'm not. It's far from trash.
16 is a little different though. It has like its own gimmick.
Yeah, it does.
Cards. It makes don't sense forget to use other cards.
Exactly. Just don't forget if you use the Android from drop, it doesn't work. You have to use it from your hand. But you can control their hand. Like there's one when you combo it on. It's one when you combo, you discard a card. When one comes in play, you discard it. The 16 is a really solid pick. The thing is, like, I just don't see it. Even if it does do well in one event, I think it's because players don't understand how to play against it. I personally played against it. That's how I know it's a good deck, and I know how to play against it. Now, it's actually lost to that deck in locals. It's a really solid deck. But, I don't see it consistently being at the top versus all these other decks that we have access to currently in the meta. Let's see. Said Annihilator. Annihilator is a great card. Annihilator is a great card. Yeah, 16. It did get third place at the patch region. But once again, it's best of one. And a lot of people still don't know. Like when you combine the fact that people don't know what the cards do and it's webcam, it's even worse because they have to now ask their opponent to read the card for him. And that guy was not an English player. Because that guy is I know him. He won the webcam invitational. He's from another. He's not from the States. I know that for a fact. Cool dude, super cool dude, super good dude. But it's hard to not understand a deck and then try to play webcam against that deck because you can't just pick up the card and read it. It's like a hassle. But that deck is really really good. Okay, I think we caught up on all of the comments. So let's start with closing statements, guys. While we're giving closing statement, if you have any comments, question, or concern, just put it in a comment section. When I give mine, I will answer your comments, questions, and concerns. I guess we'll start with Robbie this time for closing comments.
I don't know if I have anything cool. I'm gonna try to bring something spicy for Gen Con, but
bring Jaren, bro.
I would bring Jaren, but that's just bad. No, it's just a problem, man. Like that. This is a format that I'm actually excited that. Like I wanted to play Flesh and Blood anyway, but like I was really nervous about missing out on all the regionals that are going to be online for next season, like for October, because they've been like so profitable and fun. Yeah. And then I had no fun at the last regional. Like I was like, I was just sitting there for half my rounds, just waiting to do nothing.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to come back for what I hope will be an announcement from Gen Con for Nationals, man.
100%. 100% it'll be announced.
Hope it's a real person event, please.
Honestly,
I mean, they had that core thing. That core thing makes me think the core guy they DQ'd an English player because his country is not allowed to visit America. And Core got told that they had to boot anybody who had international payments because they're not allowed into America. So hopefully that's like a indicator, but like it could also be like Core's just misunderstood.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I honestly hope it's in real life because I think they can just use Gen Con as like the scale, right? We're still gonna be in a pandemic. It's gonna be here for it's here to stay, right? So if Gen Con goes well, everyone's good to go. I think just use this as like dang, I lost my train of thought. But just use this like as a this event, I guess, in order to host your Gen Con event.
They need to give us
your
2 months at least in time
Yeah,
preparation.
that's the biggest thing because it's usually in October, isn't it? Like Nats, like the first Nats.
Last year was I think it was the end of October. I think it was like Halloween weekend, right?
Yeah, that's like that is. I mean, I hope to goodness it's sometime in the spring, and it can't be like because November is already pushing. Unless it's like early November because you have Thanksgiving in November, so people are already planning on traveling. October is usually a good time of the year, but that is super close because we're in September.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. We think about Thanksgiving, right? Like that's an American
They don't think
holiday.
about it. Yeah, they don't think about it because they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
So
Japanese.
that would be hilarious to me if we get the Nationals and I don't know where it's at, but we get one and then it's like the week of like you know what I mean, like Friday,
Not
Black Friday, you got to
someone would
fly out.
100% say something about that. But what I think would happen would be like the week before. I 100% could see it them trying to do it a week before, not understanding that. But like that's why that's a scary thought to me. I mean, 100%
The week before the 20th, yeah,
yeah,
I could
that's
see
something I
that.
can see it, and that's something that's scary. That's why like a lot of people have been asking for it. But the thing is, like it's coming. We just hope that date is correct. Like they have some kind of English person in their ears saying, "Hey, this may not be a good time to host a Nationals event, my friend." But yeah, that's it.
We got 700 people invited, so
Yeah,
that's my big concern. Because what you just said is like Gen Con had the option of being bigger, right? Like
yeah.
last time, I feel like it was, we've had 256 player events,
Mm,
but they were like, hey, we're going to cap this. How do you cap a 700 person invited list? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense, man. But
And how many buys can you use?
yeah, that's true. Regardless, I just hope it's best of three. If it is webcam, just please ban it. Stop this best of one. If Ben, if I
The
was you,
issue is right. The issue is if these best of 3 on webcam literally take you 3 days. It will take us 3 days to do Nats. 3 days.
how would it take you three? People would have to play
An
fast.
hour is
They have to
it's an
give
hour
more
and a half round.
time. Yeah.
It would be an hour and a half round, right?
How would it be an hour
In
and a half
between
round?
rounds, you got at least 15 minutes to make sure all the people return in their slips. You have to make sure that everybody is. My laptop could die or overheat during the middle of the event.
Yeah.
Because we're there that long.
That's for you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're doing because I help Machado run the online events, you have to be super strict with it. Like, literally, you have after time is over. If your thing is not reported, I understand. And that's why it has to be strict, right? So if 10 minutes go by and it's timing around, you have 60 seconds to submit. If 60 seconds goes by, there's no message from you tagging us, or there's no submission, both of you guys just got a loss. That's on you, and that's something that's understood before I think. I think if you're going to do webcam, you just have to come down and say, "Hey, this is how it is. I'm sorry." Like point blank period. If you understand how it is before, you will be on your opponent.
This is nothing to shot at the people that are running national, but Cortez G is not a great person to run like grand skate, like grand skill. Like, well, you remember when it was San Jose? San Jose was one of the worst
people. Yeah, they're great people, but I feel like that based off of the 2019, was it 2019 they ran the side events?
In the San Jose event, that was insane. That event
biggest event, yeah.
That event was literally ridiculous. They changed the top cut procedure mid-event.
That is
and as long as that's gonna be the big question too. Is what? Because I'm guessing it's not Bandai. So if there is an in-person event, what TO are they paying to run it? These are where I wish they just would hire.
I won't play and I'll help, bro.
Tag. You can't even tag. PPG we would have already known.
True.
Yeah,
I
it is
haven't heard
tag.
anything from
It is tag.
George.
It's 100% tag. It's 100% tag. I'm
It
telling
can't
you
be
that.
tagged. It's nationals. It's our match.
It
It's our
doesn't
match.
matter. The tag they did last year. It's 100%. It's always tag. But
Yeah,
let's move
Tag
on
did
for
it in
this. It's
2019.
100% tag,
So
bro.
they're going to come back to America during a pandemic when Australia's locked down.
I'm
Well,
trolling you guys,
Tag
but
is
it's
running
100%
Gen
tag.
Con.
Yeah, it's 100%
I
tag.
mean, they
Tag,
got Fashbinder and
yeah, trust
everybody
me.
else working for him.
Tag runs
So
all the
I mean, I'm
major
judging
events.
Digimon for Tac, but
See,
they haven't asked for any judges for nationals. So I'll say that, like, because I wouldn't mind judging nationals if it's current format. I may not place. I can just be like a judge. Fine, I'll take my promos.
that's why I did it. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted my Cell Surge leader foil on my Demigra Unison foil and I want my Quetzalcoatl's foil. I'm like, I'm about to punish you guys for this Cell Surge deck. But Trey, closing comments, my friend.
Just if you're playing right now, be prepared for these really good decks, especially best of one. As we stated, Vegex. If you're going to play mill, people are going to play Vegex. So
Play up.
I wouldn't
Don't
recommend
let
playing.
Nil. Yeah, what Trey is saying. Don't let Nil be your only win con because you will get clapped, bro. If Android 18, your only win con is to mill, like you have a 5-drop that won't literally win you the game. It just specifically mills you, and that's your win con.
Again,
Yeah,
yellow is becoming really popular, so that deck should push Android 18 mill out of the format.
Mhm.
Also, Android 18 just dies to hand destruction, so that deck's just not going to top ever again, probably.
Yeah, it's a hard deck to play. I only got I think I only got top 8 and a top 16 when I tried it twice, and it wasn't fun. Like even in best of one, when you can gotcha people, it's got a lot of bad cards. You're right.
Yeah, just be prepared for the format. That's all I got to say. Like, format
Are you
is
coming?
peace.
Are you gonna come to that?
To Gen Con, I wish.
Come on, man.
Play the online event, bro. You can come and judge. You can come and judge. Take my spot and I'll play. It all works out, bro. You'll get
I
paid.
have judged the event before.
I'm telling you, tell it, you, bro. You get Trey. You're gonna get paid, and you'll get cards, bro. It's worth the trip. I'm telling you, bro. You're getting paid.
$25 an hour
right now.
It's good money. It's good trade. If I give you $1 an hour, you'd be like, "What the hell? I'm going to book at my trip right now, B." And then, okay, so let's see what comments did we miss. And I'll give mine. It says, "I wouldn't be surprised to see set one lemon line Frieza and best of 3 gen." Yeah, 100%. I think you'll see it, but I don't think it'll win the event only because a lot of players, like, yes, we know what those cards do, but a lot of players, for some reason, they need this transition time between actually reading the cards and actually physically playing with the cards. Untapped and playing the cards is two completely different things. You'll get muscle memory from things, but I'm telling you guys, like, I think that deck, yes, as time goes by, you'll see it just progressing, being top cut. I'm not sure if it has the push to win and be the yellow deck. I know it will be a contender for being the yellow deck, but for right now, I'll give it to Gohan Icarus because it's just consistent and you know exactly what you have to do each and every single turn. There might be different plans that develop for Golden Frieza that makes it become the yellow deck in the future during this set, but the time is just not right now because once again, the format is not defined. Kid Icarus is going to do their stuff. Doesn't matter what deck they play, they're going to do the same stuff. Golden Frieza is not the same. We can't say they can do X, Y, and Z turns 1, 2, and 3 against any deck, and I think that's the biggest issue. But
that deck doesn't draw cards without you doing things to allow you to draw cards. So it's just
but I mean, I don't want to give it away. We have one of our teammates is on the list, and I forgot about his deck. So
the
now
deck
that
is
you
fire.
mention it,
No, the deck is. I said it since
it's
last
bad.
team.
It's just not as it's not as consistent. Also, green cards are weaker than blue.
I think it's.
I couldn't beat it.
I think it's a consistent
played
great
like 5
deck.
games.
I think it's
0.
Yeah, I think it's a consistent great deck because last time during the team talks, everyone said yellow. Dylan's the only person that said Sin, and I said, everyone said Gohan Icarus. Sin was for Dylan, and my pick for yellow was set one Golden Frieza. I think that deck, honestly, the ceiling on is just insane. I think if that deck has been around for a while and people understood, hey, this is what turn 1 were, this is what turn 2, and once again, the meta is defined, it would edge out Icarus as being a top deck because they have cards, they have access to the same cards you have, minus your dragon, but theirs is better. Like they could technically run 2 bloodlust. It's. I'm not gonna give the spice to it, but Frieza is a really deadly and dangerous deck that got the tools they needed. That's all I'm gonna leave it on that deck. Let's see. What else did we miss? What do you look for in a deck before you call it real or good? You have to look for, number one, in my opinion, is consistency. How about you, Trey? One thing you look for in a deck. before you
I
call
hate
it
decks
real or
that can't
good.
play defense. I hate decks that can't play defense.
So you look for something that could actually stick, like defend itself.
Yeah, like you have to at least be able to do something offensive along with being defensive.
How about you, Robbie? One thing.
I look for something that has a built-in combo. So
Built-in
I want
combo.
something that like
Very
a
combo heavy, like a
built-in.
rival decks.
Like I like a rival, obviously. I like anything where I can utilize two cards together to greatly enhance my power. To make it where I have like better cards, like you know,
Like resource management,
uh,
essentially.
yeah. I like just cards that fuse. I guess that would be it. I like a fusion type effect where I know if I draw these two cards in tandem,
Mm.
like they win. Like the old the old Brawly yellow deck that had
Oh
Zeno
yeah,
Button and Ape. Like
busted.
that, neither card by themselves were unstoppable, but once you combine the two, it got really annoying to be like, yeah, I got 4 energy, pass turn, Zeno, Ape,
Mhm.
okay, attack again, Zeno, Ape. Like that was too much goodness.
Mm.
Same thing with what you're doing with Icarus. Like Icarus gets to take advantage of the Bojack Arrival stuff, allowing you to do the Aegis combined with Ape.
Yeah.
Those are cooler decks than like the other deck we're talking about. What's the SS4 black deck? Like I feel
Yeah,
like you're just
prismatic.
running
Yeah.
a straight line.
It's not Robbie. It's funny, Robbie. I think that's probably gonna be the first black deck you pick up. And the thing about it, you're
I
gonna love.
already had it. I had it fully built last week. Like this week, whenever my cards came in, and I had to disassemble it because I won 0 games in Hermit.
Robbie, I think you're gonna end
0.
up loving that deck, bro. Because as you describe what you look for in a deck, that deck silly behavior. I'm like, oh, you're gonna love this. But I think you're gonna end up loving that deck. Oh, I shout out the winners in here. The winner that won with I can't pronounce his name. I don't want to mispronounce it. But the winner who won with Kid Gohan is in this. He says Bandai does announce the third regional, including September and October. We're probably gonna have Nats in November. You guys is gonna be before the release or after. But isn't both Nats that happened? There was a main set, the Genema set. Set 5 came out for the first Nats that week before, and then the last one, the Magnificent Collection, came out the week before. That's what happened, right? For both those events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
checking right now. That's a good point. Right here it says. Hold on, let's see.
no,
That's a good
it would
point.
be the reprint set. It would be the reprint set. Yeah, that would be the timeline. If it's this year, it would be the reprint set around that timeline that would come out. Because reprint set, I believe it's due in October ish.
So you're talking about Mythic? So Mythic
Yeah,
Booster?
yeah. It would be that set that
Mythic
would come out.
Booster comes out. It just says November.
Yeah,
And
so it'd be around that
then
timeline.
Yeah, and then it says there's something else coming out called Unison Warriors Boost 7
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
February. So yeah,
I
it's
think
Mythic Booster.
yeah, exactly. And then the last comment before I give my closing statement says, "Do you think Bandai will organize Worlds this year?" All right, that's a great question. This is why I think the Nats event will be 2 events, 1 webcam, like how we did for PBG. It'll be 1 webcam and 1 in real life event, honestly speaking. The reason why I think that is because you cannot have Worlds by flying people across the state, but you can have Worlds by having webcam. I think if there is a Worlds event, it will be webcam, but I also believe that Nationals will be webcam. I just hope, that's why I keep saying it, I don't care if it's webcam or if it's both or in real life and webcam. I just want it to be best of. They have to standardize it to best of 3. My biggest fear is going to be webcam best of 1 and in real life best of 3. And then like you're going to be if it's like that, Worlds is going to be forcing this weird little best of 1 win. It's going to be the neggest thing ever, bro. That's my biggest issue with that. All right, so I answered all the questions. My comments are Gen Con is gonna be really lit, guys. I know there's no streaming. I'm gonna try to ask our boy, can I record it? Can I set up a stand and just stream it for you guys? If he says no, I do apologize. If he says yes, I will have a little thing for you guys so you can watch. I'll try to put it on table 1 so you guys can watch. It's gonna be a fun time. If you're playing in the Gen Con Best of 1 event, tune in to the next team talks. I'll talk about that. I still believe Cell Surge. I don't see how Cell Surge still hasn't took one of these events. That's mind baffling to me. But it is what it is. That's it. That's all I got. Any guys have 30-second statements? Nothing before we go. You're
I'm
good.
good to
You're
go.
good. All right. You good, Robbie?
I'm good.
All
I'll
right.
show you this card once we disconnect, and this will be the card you need to add.
Gotcha. All right. So take it easy, guys. Stay tuned. I'll try to jump back on tomorrow, but if not, we'll tune back in on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about the best of one. And then I want to do something probably on Thursday for judges, like what you should ask, and like just a whole judge segment thing. 'Cause I think a lot of players are intimidating when it comes to judges, but like don't ever feel like cornered into it because sometimes judges give you the wrong ruling. That's something I'm gonna show you. Don't ever feel like bad to just say, "Can I appeal it?" We don't ever get offended. I judge the LCQs for PPG. I tell them all the time, like, "Yeah, if you feel like I'm wrong, bro, which I'm not, because I know that's how it works. Don't feel like, okay, cool, he must know what he's talking about. He's right. You could feel free to appeal it. I'm not gonna get offended, bro. I just called it a judge. It's stuff like that I'm gonna talk about before Gen Con rolls around. But other than that, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you next time."